Moving on, Kakamega Governor Fernandes Barasa has condemned the police using excessive force to contain youth who were on Tuesday protesting against the Finance Bill 2024. Speaking at the Kakamega General Hospital, where he visited the wounded youths, Governor Barasa said police could have employed other means to control the youth who were unarmed and were exercising their constitutional right to peaceful demonstrate and picket. He said the use of live bullets by police have led to the death of 2 innocent residents, a 35-year-old woman from Ikolomani who was selling vegetables and a 33-year-old man. The governor sent his condolences to the bereaved families while assuring them of the county government's support in meeting the funeral expenses. He also said 2 youths were injured during the demonstrations and are receiving treatment and ready to be discharged from the Kakamega General Hospital. Leaders across the country condemned the police brutality meted on protesters on Tuesday.
For the family and friends of our dear loved ones, I want to convey my message of condolence to them and to assure them that we are going to take care, especially for our Ikolomani lady, who was one of our Mama Bogas, Caroline Shiramba. As a county, we are going to take care of the funeral expenses. And why is it? I really want to condemn the police for using excessive force, because these are 2 young people who are simply demonstrating peacefully, save for the unruly guys who joined them.
Today we had a peaceful demonstration, and our aim was to go and see our victims at the morgue and who are in the hospital. But while we were protesting, the police officers came to intimidate us, they came to torment us, and we will not accept that to happen again.
Tumesimama hapa kutetea haki ya wasichana, haki ya wanawake. These police are being brutal to us. Wanatuharas na sisi hatutapenda. Tunataka rights zetu zisikizwe. The police muache kutufanya matiagas na kutunini. Sisi tunataka tu justice ifanyike kwa kina Rex and those ones when you abducted.
And we're also happy to note that also Kenyans came out in large numbers to donate blood. And so those who still want to donate blood, you're free to do so, to support some of these patients that are still ongoing treatment. A lot of them have received surgeries, save for some who were brought in yesterday, later in the evening, and that are scheduled for surgery today. And so we saw some of the injuries, and we have discussed also with the director, just highlighting some of the kind of treatments that they're giving to them, and they're doing the best that they can. And we thank Kenyatta National Hospital for being able to receive the kind of large numbers that they have in treating all those patients. They're trying to ensure that those who are able can be discharged and go home. However, a lot of them will continue to need a second and a third referral to keep coming and get checked and get treated. And so we also saw the patients and we assure them of our support, because some are quite injured, and as the president of the head of state confirmed that they'll be accounted for, we hope that would amount to compensation, that we won't need to go to court to ensure that these victims are compensated. And so as part of our duty, we just came to assure them and share our details that once they're discharged, they can come to the Law Society or they can reach out to us so that we can come and ensure that we give them all the legal support they may need. We also spoke to one lady who is being discharged. She was shot by a stray bullet on her way from work, and so she'll also be coming to the Law Society so that we can pursue legal redress for her. So they said there were quite a number and they have not been able to sit down and compile because everyone was all hands on deck. But they have invited IPOA, who are also sitting to just collect and do the statistics to support so that they get timely numbers of what is going on. They said yesterday they did not get any dead on arrival, but some came with critical injuries, and I think they got about 2 who died in the hospital arising from the critical injuries that they came with.
So as of now, you can confirm that yesterday's casualties is not recorded yet?
Yes, they haven't confirmed the numbers yet. So they said as things come down, they'll be able to ascertain the statistics and will be able to share, particularly with the poor, to ensure investigations are done. What as LSK we can say that we'll be filing a petition. Police should be able to be properly dressed and can be identified, so that people are aware that these are police officers. But to see police dressed as if they are part of the thugs, yet they are fully armed, it brings a lot of fear to the general public. And also the question of how can you hold accountable someone that you cannot identify? Because the video with the red pickup, I remember even seeing it at the Supreme Court, and the plates were turned up, so you cannot see them. And my question to the Inspector General of the National Police Service, this is the kind of service that is giving to Kenyans, that so that we cannot be able to identify the killer cops. We are not able to identify those who should be held accountable. Because when you fully mask up and you're wearing a hat and you're covering your face with a bandana, the aim is to be able to perpetrate violence and with total disregard. And this comes after the backdrop that the head of state gave a second presidential address saying that not in his tenure, not in his government, these things are not going to happen. And these are part of the reasons that the continued mistrust by the members of the public reigns high, because the head of state speaks with one side, and yet his actions or the actions of his agencies say something else. We should be able to identify who are these police officers. We should be able to identify them by their rank and by their names, because they are properly uniformed. And further, the other policeman who shot at some of the journalists as they recorded the arrest of others, and I think people have been able to share his name and identity, will be taken